Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. My name is Cooper. I am 43 years old. I can still hear the sound of the laughter that night. Warm, effortless, the kind that makes you believe life might finally be kind to you. The table glowed beneath soft candlelight, plates polished, glasses filled. My mother had made her famous roast. My brothers told stories from childhood. For once, the house felt alive. My wife Lucia sat at the far end, elegance woven into every movement. Her daughter, my stepdaughter, Melody, 19-year-old, but sharp-tongued as a blade, scrolled through her phone, smirking at something unseen. I tried not to mind. I wanted peace. Desperately. Melody, I said gently, could you put the phone away while we eat? She didn't look up. You're not even real family, she said suddenly, loud and clear. Don't tell me what to do. The sound that followed wasn't silence. It was shock. My mother's fork clinked against her plate. My brothers froze mid-bite. I felt my pulse rise, heat crawling up my neck. Lucia's face was unreadable. She didn't defend me, didn't scold her daughter, just looked down, as if waiting for the storm to pass. I took a deep breath and forced a small smile. All right, I said quietly, enjoy your meal. But the food turned to ash in my mouth. Later that night, after everyone had gone, I found Melody in the kitchen. The glow of the refrigerator light cast a halo around her as she poured herself juice like nothing had happened. Melody, I began softly. I don't need you to like me, but I do need you to respect me. This house, this life, it exists because I've worked for it, because I care about both of you. She shrugged, unmoved. Before I could say more, Lucia's voice cut through the hallway, cold, exact. She's not your daughter, Cooper. Don't tell her what to do. My throat tightened. For a moment, I couldn't breathe, not because of anger, but heartbreak. Lucia's words sliced deeper than Melody's ever could. I turned toward her slowly, my voice barely above a whisper. I thought we were a family. Lucia said nothing. Melody's smirk returned. That was the moment I realized the house wasn't my home anymore. It was a stage, and I'd been playing the fool. When I smiled that night, it wasn't forgiveness. It was farewell. I used to believe that love could fix anything, that patience could melt walls, and kindness could turn strangers into family. I was wrong. 2 years ago, Lucia entered my life like a sunrise after years of gray. Her laughter disarmed me. Her words soothed me. I thought she understood me. The man who had built his life from nothing, who wanted nothing more than to share it. When I married her, I believed I had finally found peace. But peace, I learned, can be a lie disguised as love. At first, I tried to win Melody's heart the only way I knew how, with care. I paid her tuition, bought her a small car, and 6 months ago, I rented her an apartment near her university so she could feel independent. I told myself that love, given enough time, would be repaid with respect. It wasn't. She thanked me with silence, mocked me behind my back, and treated me as if I were a servant in my own home. I remember one evening overhearing her whisper to Lucia, "He thinks money makes him family. It just makes him useful." Lucia didn't correct her. She laughed. That sound broke something inside me. That night, I sat alone on the balcony, the city glowing beneath me. My hands trembled around a glass of untouched whiskey. I realized then that I had mistaken dependency for affection, convenience for love. Lucia never loved me. She loved the life I gave her. Melody never respected me. She respected the comfort I funded. And as the wind carried the faint echo of their laughter from inside, a thought formed in my chest, quiet but sharp. If love was a lie, then silence would be my truth. That was the night I stopped being their provider and started being their lesson. Revenge doesn't always start with rage. Sometimes it begins in silence. The morning after Lucia's words, I woke before dawn. The house was still, too still. In that calm, I made my decision. No shouting, no accusations, just action. I called Daniel, my lawyer, the one who'd seen me through every deal and loss. Daniel, I said evenly, I need some ownership documents reviewed quietly. He paused. Something wrong, Cooper? Not wrong, I replied. Just overdue. Within hours, every thread of Melody's comfort was mapped before me. Her tuition funded from my account, her car registered in my name, her apartment lease signed solely by me. Every privilege she flaunted, every luxury she took for granted, mine. By sunset, the first move was made. The car title revoked. The tuition payment stopped. The apartment lease terminated. All done without a word spoken in that house. The next morning, I sat at the breakfast table, coffee steaming, pretending to read the paper. Melody came down, scrolling through her phone, until her face went pale. What the hell? My classes are canceled. I didn't look up. Really? Minutes later, her scream shattered the quiet. What's going on? Lucia rushed in, panic blooming in her voice. Cooper, can you find out what happened at the university? I set my cup down gently. She is not my daughter, I said, meeting her eyes. And according to you, I have no right to tell her what to do. Therefore, I don't have right to take care of her and even more so financially support her. For a long moment, no one moved. The silence in that room was deafening, thick with realization and fear. As they stared at me, something shifted inside me. Not triumph, not cruelty. Freedom. That was the day I stopped being their foundation and became their earthquake. The fallout began faster than I expected. By morning, Lucia's panic echoed through the hallway like a siren. Cooper, Melody's car was towed. What did you do? I didn't look up from my coffee. It wasn't mine. I just stopped paying for it. Her face twisted, disbelief flooding every word. You're punishing her because she spoke her mind? No, I said quietly, finally meeting her eyes. I'm holding her accountable. There's a difference. Hours later, the dominoes kept falling. Melody's university called. Her tuition had been withdrawn. The apartment I'd rented for her, lease terminated. I imagined her fury, her tears, her confusion. But not once did she apologize. That night, Lucia cornered me by the window, her voice breaking. You're destroying everything we built. I turned slowly. You mean everything I paid for? She went silent. The truth hung between us like glass, fragile, sharp, impossible to ignore. In that moment, I realized something. I had built a home with people who didn't see me, only what I could give. Melody's laughter from that humiliating dinner still echoed in my head. Every cruel word replayed until something inside me hardened. I wasn't being cruel. I was setting boundaries they never believed I had. As Lucia stormed out, slamming the door, I felt no anger, just a strange calm. For the first time in years, the silence that followed didn't feel empty. It felt earned. Days slipped into weeks, and my home grew quieter. But in that quiet, I found myself again. Lucia's calls dwindled to none. Melody's anger burned out quickly when she realized no tantrum could refill an empty bank account. I wasn't watching them fall apart. I was finally stepping away from the wreckage I'd been trying to hold together. One evening, as the sun bled across the horizon, Lucia appeared at my door. Her eyes were red, her tone softer than I'd ever heard. She's dropped out of university, she whispered. We've lost everything. Are you happy now? I studied her face, searching for a trace of the woman I once loved. There was none. Only regret too late to matter. No, I said finally. But I'm free. She opened her mouth to speak, then turned and left without a word. As the door clicked shut, I smiled, not from victory, but from release. That night, I slept without dreams. Months later, I walked past Melody's old university. Students hurried between classes full of hope and noise. For a moment, I felt a pang of sadness, not for what I'd lost, but for what I'd wasted. Years of effort, love, and patience spent on people who never looked beyond my wallet. But pain, I'd learned, is a teacher. It strips you down to what's real. And as the evening breeze brushed my face, I realized that the quiet I once feared was now my greatest reward. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.